8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? We're live. We're here. We're ready to go, bro. It's time. It's time to hang out on Sunday night with all of our friends. By the way, I just want to say that Google Gemini has become my best friend. I have been using Google Gemini for everything. I'll ask it questions. It helps me with making YouTube video titles. It helps me kind of figure out what my thumbnail should look like. I asked it if I look good. It said it couldn't tell me, but it believed that I did look good. So there's a lot of like cool things happening with Google Gemini.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's boosting my confidence, and it's helping my YouTubes. So I got that going for me. So check out the Google, what's it, Google Gemini. That's their AI thing. AI's taking over, baby. AI's taking over. What?
You know, there's a missed opportunity here.
With?
YouTube.
What's the missed opportunity?
I'm just curious, like, why they haven't made a pornography website called YouBoobs.
Why do you say stupid shit?
I mean, that's brilliant, right? It's just all
Would
boobs.
it only be? Oh, it'd only be boobs.
So, like, they could be bouncing. They could just be sitting. They could be bouncing this way.
Like, why would they bounce that way? Are they in like a? Are they like in a?
Like a blender or something.
Yeah. Motorboating.
Yeah.
Is what some people would call it. Wow, interesting. Well, this is a great way of starting this video.
It always
or this
is.
live.
What is this?
So tonight we're going to discuss I don't know what that is. We're going to discuss I was going to say YouBoobs. Oh my God, what is that? We're going to discuss. Oh, you know what that is? I bet you it's to that back there.
Oh, it probably is.
There's a statue.
Yep,
there's a statue I have, and it blew up into a million pieces, and I don't think we'll ever paste it back together ever again. I mean, I think it's done for. It's a humongous one. It was sent by a viewer of the Gastlecast, and I feel terrible that it broke, but something fell on it and busted it. It's a Negan with his bat, like, fighting off zombies. It is, like, the coolest statue I've ever seen in my life.
It is. I mean, you can't even tell anything's broken unless you see the little... There's, like,
what
a
are you talking
pieces.
about? Go back and look at it. It's a whole arms are broken off.
Arms are broken off.
Oh my God, Heather! I don't think you understand how bad it is. You didn't give it up and close look.
I must not.
We obviously take care of things really well. So send stuff to the Gastlecast. There are our PO boxes in the description. So go ahead and send us something so we can break it. We're going to talk about Fundays, and we're also.
Speaking of Fundays, they should debut YouBoobs there. You know, they could go like this. They could do a circle.
That's if it's in a washer machine. Washing machine.
Washer machine.
Washer machine. For clothing.
They could hang this way and go this way, like a ceiling fan.
We also have Mischief Toys things to share with you tonight, so if you're a Mischief Toys fan, which I think most of you are, there's a dog fucking barking out there. I'm going to lose my mind.
It's very loud.
He's really getting on my nerves right now. It's like he's just yelling at nothing.
He might be yelling at you, honestly.
He's driving me crazy with the barking. Stop out there! Give me a break. Too many barks. We live in here like rats. Our houses are too close. Like, I feel like we're far enough away from that house, but I hear the goddamn dog all the time. Oh, he's doing it again. You guys, I don't think you guys can hear it. Remember when Chris stepped on the Harry Potter Jeffrey? I sent you Heather.
Yes, I do remember that, and I was very sad.
I stepped on like 3 of them at one time.
But I appreciate you, and I love you so much.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You got something going on with him I don't know about?
No, you know about it.
It's a little sneaky is
Best
going
friends,
on there. You're
forever.
loving, throwing that loving around. Oh, thank you, Adam. Adam, give her a P.O. box in case anyone wants to say something. So we're also going to show Mischief Toys things. We're going to show you, if you guys want to see the simple modern thermoses or cups, we're going to be showing them. On the channel,
I have one right here.
On the channel, I always show my stickered one, but we decided to have real Mischief Toys simple modern thermoses created, and they will be available sometime this
soon.
week. But they are super limited. We did not make a whole lot of them because we wanted to see if people were into them. We will never reprint this particular logo again, I don't think. This will be the only time we do it, and then we'll most likely in the next run do something a little bit different. But we're doing it's like an 8-bit.
8-bit.
Like an 8-bit like kind of logo. It's really cool. So we'll show those soon. Also, maybe it's a good way to start off by telling you that we have something very special on MischiefToys.com. Does that start now?
Oh yeah, that's been started.
Okay. So it's already started up. If you go to MischiefToys.com and you buy yourself a figure, you have a chance at getting either a bag of stickers, which will be completely random. We might even throw in some unreleased ones in there. And also, you'll, So it's either stickers, a bag of 5 stickers, or you get a mystery pin that could be an AP. So if you go over to the website, buy any figure that's on the website. Maybe you missed one. Maybe there's one that you've been wanting to pick up and you didn't, or you forgot about picking it up. Go over right now. We still have a couple Grasleys up. I think that we have some. What is it? The anniversary, the sketch Ghastly. I think there might be some of those on there. I think Halloween Demonstro might be on there. And then regular Ghastly, regular Demonstro. So go and grab one, and we will hook it up, bro. You might get something cool. Check that out. Well, actually, Heather sent an email earlier, so we'll keep talking about that throughout this live. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast if you want to support the channel. Helps the channel in a very big way. But not only that, I always comment on how great our Patreon call is every single month, where we go live with our patrons via Google Meet. We hang out, we do giveaways, we show you upcoming Mischief Toys things. In fact, the thermos that we're going to show tonight from Mischief Toys, the simple modern thermos, is something we showed on Patreon maybe a month, 2 months ago. So everybody got a sneak peek of it over there.
Did.
So super stoked over this simple modern thing, cup, thermos. I don't even know what to call it. What do you call it? Thermos cup?
Well, it depends. So these ones are typically called tumblers.
Tumblers. That's the word I was looking for, Heather. Thank you.
And
Heather is Black Light Plush Vampire part of the giveaways as well.
we did figures only.
Figures only. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. What? Are you talking, or what are you doing?
Why does it say that?
Okay. Heather's I think we're gonna show the thermoses real soon. I believe, how many of each of them? Is it 24 of each style?
Yes.
That's it,
24.
right? 24 of each style. So that means literally we only have 48 of these particular thermoses with the logos. So why don't we show those off first, Heather?
They're called tumblers. All of them are tumblers.
Tumblers? Okay, let's show off the tumblers, Heather.
Tumblers.
Tumblers. Let's show them off.
Hold on, I'm just making. Yeah, so okay. So we have a 28 ounce, which is this size. This is my 28 ounce.
Okay.
And then Chris, what Chris drinks out of, he's terrible with cues, but what Chris drinks out of is 40 ounces. So that's about the size difference.
Mine's bigger.
It is. This is how it looks next to my big head, so they're pretty big. Chris's is, it's about half the size of his big fucking head.
Are we restricted one per order? If we're talking about the thermoses, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there aren't many of them.
Yeah.
So we have to restrict how many can be ordered. We want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance at them.
Any figure that is currently on the website is eligible for
now figures
sticker/pin.
You can go and buy as many figures as you want, and there's going to be a chance at AP for all figures that you purchase, and there's a chance at getting stickers, right? So it's either one or the other.
AP pins.
AP pins. What did I say? AP stickers?
You just said AP.
Oh my God. I was up until like 4 o'clock in the morning last night. I was a tired little kid. There it is. Look at that thing, man. You brought that right out. Look at this. It says Mischief Toys right on it, as you can see in this 8-bit sort of styling. And then you have little 8-bit Ghastlies all over it. How about that? And look at the colors. I love it. It's like a pinkish, sort of like purpley looking color. And so there's the 2 different variants. You have the one that Heather was talking about that I usually drink out of, which is the big handled guy. And then you got the one that Heather has.
Oh, wait. No, this might be my 24 ounce. I'm sorry. This is the 28 ounce.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it
And
wrong.
so it's a removable straw. The top, you know, unscrew the top. You can
Hold
wash the
on.
whole thing. It's really nice.
Hold on.
We use these on a pretty much regular basis. I use mine every day. So these are really, really nice. Yeah, thank you, JStar47. Yeah, I think they came out brilliant. They look really great. The logo on them has like a very 8-bit look to it. It's like very blocky looking, which I really, really love.
So, these guys only, not this one, but these ones come with this type of lid. So it's like the coffee lid.
Ah, nice. So it comes with
Yeah.
both.
Yeah, so this one comes with this type of lid too. It comes with both, and you can just drink as is, or you could put your little straw in there if you want. I don't know why you do that, like why you wouldn't just use this lid, but whatever.
Yeah, and it actually has this rubber part right here that makes it where your water will not come out. At least it won't come out a lot. I wouldn't suggest
comes
like
out of
turning it upside
the-
down, but it'll drip if you turn it upside down, I think.
It drips out of the hole,
Yeah,
but it
the
doesn't
whole
drip out of
out of the rubber part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just be careful with that. But yeah,
I knock mine over all the time, and it never spills, except I guess when I turn it upside down.
yeah. So these are great. Love them.
Fantastic.
And I'm going to start drinking out of mine. I guess there won't. Did we get any for ourselves, or ours is part of the 24?
Part of the 24.
Oh my God! So they're less.
Yeah,
'Cause
you got.
I'm keeping this. This one's mine.
Yes.
Are you keeping that one? So now there's 23 of each.
I don't know if I'm gonna keep one of these.
You don't know?
No. I
You
don't
might
know
keep
yet.
one of these?
We'll share them. We can share.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Share what?
Share the cup. We share about one.
I don't know how I feel about that, Heather. This is mine.
No, it isn't. It's mine. And
Right.
You
so
can share it.
these will be they'll be available this what
Week.
day? This week? Are we
Yeah.
saying the day? Not
Nope.
saying the day. Okay. More
Not
information
saying the
to come.
day, not saying the price yet. They're not inexpensive to get done, so we gotta come up with that. We've never sold cups before. But if you guys dig them, we could do other designs occasionally in the future. This definitely isn't something that we're gonna have like all the time. We just drink out of them all the time, and we know that some of you guys do. So I think it could be a really nice little just add-on occasionally.
And it's a Simple Modern brand, by the way. So everything about it is Simple Modern. As you can see at the top, there it is. There's the Simple Modern logo right there on top. So
They
it's
are
the
both
real
metal.
deal, bro.
They're
real
both
deal.
metal.
Yep, both metal.
They're insulated, and they come inside. They come with how to care for it, $5 off your first order coupon, and then in here are, I want to say it might be accessories. Yeah, it just sort of shows you everything that Simple Modern does. They have a warranty and stuff.
Adam, look what Adam said.
Chris and Heather, are you going to make a ghastly towel so you do not need to clean the table with your shirt?
Thank you, Adam. We do need Ghastly and Mischief Toys towels, that's for sure.
We do, I agree.
Yeah. So these will be available this week. Look out for them. I'm really, really stoked. We've had them for a little while now,
We
and
have.
I told Heather I think it's time because we're in the kind of getting in the warmer months, at least locally, and summer's about to come up for us. So that's when I feel like they're used mostly for like around those times. People keeping things cold, right, during the
Oh,
summertime
I keep
and
everything
stuff.
cold in the wintertime too, and it
Yeah.
keeps it'll keep your coffee hot.
Yeah, it's
Keep
very
your
nice.
coffee hot. Keep your cold drinks cold. It's fantastic. They
Yeah.
also sell. I've never had to use them because we just. Well, I do make cold brew in these ones, but I don't drink enough cold brew for them to like stain inside. But they also make those little. They're like fizzy cleaner things that
Yeah.
they have on their website and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love. We love Simple Modern.
Yeah, so
cups.
those will be available this week. Look out for them. Okay. All right. So, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Funko and talk about Fundays. So, it's obviously, without sitting here and saying it 100 times over because we're going to be assholes about it, but the truth is that Heather and I received intel a while back talking about what had happened with Fundays, what was going to happen with Fundays, and that it wasn't going to take place during SDCC. It was going to take place either before or after. That intel we did not have. We weren't entirely sure what the outcome was going to be. We only knew bits and pieces because I think it was being being held very close to the chest by Funko, which obviously they're going to do. It's their big event of the year. For them to take it and then turn it into sort of like a Funko Hollywood event, and I think it's going to be more of like a remember years ago where they had tents outside and it was like a festival thing. Like that's almost like what I thought it was going to be.
It was going to be like a remember the block party.
It was something like that, but remember Mike was out.
Was it FunCon?
Something like that, but Mike was out in the tent and he was doing giveaways because I remember Jason, our friend Jason, went out and he was there and he said it was fun. I mean, you know, when Mike Becker was a part of it, it's always fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be fun.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I can't say that, but I have my concerns about the Fundays event.
Yeah.
But what, and if you didn't watch the video yet, what really fired me up over the whole thing is that we had these people really being a-holes to us about how we were, I guess, freaking people out by telling them that Fundays was not going to happen. I mean, but we knew that Fundays was not going to happen the way that it usually would happen.
Yeah.
So that's why we made the video originally.
We made a video saying Fundays will not happen as it typically does, and these are our thoughts as to what it could be. Now, Funko decided to keep the Fundays name, but that doesn't mean that it's Fundays. First, it's not happening during SDCC, which is weird. So it's basically an event that they're calling Fundays that's going to be specific for people who either travel to California twice in roughly a month-ish span of time, or people who live there,
yeah.
Which is fine. They're allowed to do that, but it's just really bizarre that they've taken that route. And
I can tell you one thing. It all has to do with cash money, for sure.
I think it does.
For sure. It's an expensive event to put on.
It definitely is. I mean, we've put on our fair share of events, and, you know, the one that we are going to be hosting now, Day of Mischief, is probably the most pricey one, and it's a lot.
Yeah, and we're not even having that many people. I mean, it's a very tiny event.
It's not a big event at all.
It's expensive to do it, and not to mention they're doing it at Fundays. I mean, at SDCC, and so they have to put it inside of like a hotel or wherever. The one year they had it at that theater, which is unbelievable.
The shell, which was very cool.
That had to have cost like a ridiculous amount of money.
Oh, I'm positive of
easily,
that.
to like rent it out.
Yeah, for sure. That's not a small venue.
No.
But the whole Fundays name is really what's like aggravating me, because they're tying their name to or that name to something that is not the Fundays that we know and love.
But they're calling it an experience.
Yes.
Fundays experience. So it's like a pseudo Fundays. It's not a real Fundays. It's like Fundays.
It's like when you go to a restaurant and you order Coke and they say we have Pepsi.
No, it's not like that. I wouldn't say it's like that.
It is. They're calling it a different name and pretending it's the same, and it's not the same.
No, it's
Pepsi is worlds different than Coke.
No. That's not even right at all.
It is right.
It's like calling it Fundays Light. So it's not exactly Fundays. It's not what you come to know and enjoy from Fundays. It is a variant of Fundays that is on a different level, and so they're holding it just before STCC.
It's dumb.
Which
they should call it Dumb Days.
So originally, when I thought about this, I was like, "Wow, that's a pretty cool idea." And I think that Funko is, they decided let's do something a little bit different. And then, of course, you have Thrilljoy and Rokimoto doing their things during STCC. So maybe Funko is like, well, why don't we, shake things up a little bit and not, one, spend all the money and have it at our own place, and two, kind of reevaluate SDCC and Funko, because they're just not doing like they were used to doing. They were making a ridiculous amount of money.
Fundays reinvigorates the collecting experience every single year.
I agree
during Fundays. You see the absolute most activity in Funko centric groups. You see the most views on YouTube videos that have to do with Funko, because everybody wants to know what's going on. And the fact that they are not putting on your average Funko event is, I don't want to say disappointing, because we haven't seen what it is yet, but it's a 3-day event, so I have, like, whatever special they're doing will be spread out over these 3 days. They say that they're going to have a box of fun, that's cool, but is it going to be similar to Fundays, or is it going to be more similar to like Fun on the Run, where it's like you get your shit and then you pose with a guy in a Freddy Funko mask and then you leave?
Well, they have that event where you have to find like the treasure or whatever, find the Grail, which I think is interesting. I like to see what that ends up being. Like, what does that mean? Is it a scavenger hunt, or do you pull something?
So someone
or like,
actually, I think it was sort of like a preview into what this Fundays experience is going to be. And I wish, I am such a bad YouTuber, okay? Because I see these posts and I talk about them, but I have no idea where I saw it. I didn't take a screenshot of it. But someone was wandering around one of the stores, it was either HQ or Hollywood, and they found a prototype just on a shelf.
Right.
And I think they might do like a handful of things like that, possibly.
Right.
Like, for Fundays in years past, and I don't think it's happened, it didn't happen with the chicken sandwich year. I don't know if it happened last year or not, but they would hand out a prototype to every single person who attended in years past. And
most people would walk away with something great.
Yeah.
Majority of people.
I have the feeling that this event, they say, yeah, it's going to be ticketed, but, you know, you're going to get your box, but I don't think you're going to get much past that, which is fine. I think that what Fundays used to be was, like, super crazy, like, I don't want to call it, like, top secret, maybe, like, exclusive, like, the big fans knew, and then when they started putting the boxes online was when, like, people were like, oh, Fundays, you know what I mean? Like, it was sort of an underground event prior to about 2018 or 2019.
I wouldn't say it's underground.
Yeah, I would consider it pretty underground, because now, like, in the last couple of years, we've seen, like, a lot of resellers and stuff like that go to the events, where before it was, like, a lot of fans on the Fanatics board and stuff like that. Like, that's where a lot of people would get their tickets and stuff.
That's where it started.
And it was a bit lesser known than when the Boxes of Fun went online.
It became very Hollywood, because remember, you would see videos that Funko would film at those things, and the lights were everywhere, and people were dancing around. There was, like, slow-mo cuts of stuff. Then it eventually turned into them doing a live event, like, in other words, where you could watch it from home. Then they moved over from not doing that, but still including the Fundays boxes that you could order from home. So it went through a lot of, like, evolution. But I think that Fundays, the name Fundays, the name Box of Fun, should all be gone. I believe that they should wipe those names altogether and come up with something brand new. Because I think those names are more associated with Mike Becker and not necessarily Funko, in my opinion. I think that's more of a Mike Becker thing.
I agree.
So with them carrying those names around, it just feels like false. And they're selling something to us that it's almost like they're selling false goods or something. Because, like, when I think Fundays, I think about Funmaker Mike dancing all over the place and, like, throwing stuff into an audience, or, you know, having the Fun Patrol and all that. You know what I mean? Like that, or Prize Patrol. So that's what I see. But by them doing, like, I don't know. Funko continuing on without Mike and without Brian is sort of a weird thing, as we could tell now. But if they renamed everything and captured magic in a bottle in a different way than they had done before, right? Because they're finding new fans every day. We had a local guy reach out yesterday, and a Marylander, and he made a song about Funko, and in the song he's talking about how, and he's like a rapper, and he wanted us.
Don't say too much.
I'm not gonna say who he is.
No,
I don't even know who he is.
Don't say too much.
Okay. Anyway,
the song.
he made a song. It was about Funko, but listening to the lyrics, it was like I just started collecting. I think that's something like I just started collecting. Or I just got into Funko, and now I'm obsessed. Blah blah blah. And I was like, damn, that's cool, because I wasn't really sure if people were like getting into it for the first time now.
Yeah.
Because we got into it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, or more now, I guess. But seeing that people are getting into it now, after all like the weird up and downs that you and I have sort of lived through with Funko, is interesting to see that they're pulling in new fans. I personally like it. I think it's great, and I want to see the Funko fan base grow, and I want to see it become popular again. I think that there's a very big place in the world for a company like Funko, and also having your Thrill Joys and your Rokimotos. It's good to have like a little something you can choose from.
Yeah.
Similar to like Mischief Toys, and then you got like all the companies that fall under the umbrella of Plastic Empire, like Abominable Toys, right? There are all these different things, and you could buy one from here and buy one from there, and I like this, I like that, or maybe I solely collect this thing. In my opinion, it's cool that you have all these options.
Yeah.
And so Funko is now in this world where they're up against two big guys that they're in competition with. Think about it. Over all the years that Funko had really been doing stuff. I mean, you had what was the one company? It was called Kid Robot. Mm-hmm. What did they do? What, Dunnies? Mm-hmm. Were they the ones behind Dunnies? But like when I think about Funko having any competition, like they really never had. It was all about Funko. Like everybody was crazy about Funko. Think about that. Like think about the companies that have come and gone since Funko has been like their reign of power of being the top dog. Now Thrill Joy and Rokimoto come in, and they're like, think about this way. 4 years, let's say 2 years ago, before those two companies started, imagine us go back to the past and tell our past selves, hey, you're not going to believe this, but in the year 2025, there is no Fundays during SDCC. Brian and Mike Becker have their own companies, and they're going to be at SDCC instead.
I would say
we would say, holy
crazy.
Shit,
yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So,
and Chris, you look so good. What happened? Did you lose a little bit of weight? You're looking good. Them jeans are looking fabulous. Your buttocks look very nice in them. That's what I would say.
No, your buttocks looks very nice out of them because your pants are falling down because you lost weight.
And Heather would be looking at me, and she'd be like, my little cream pie.
Why don't you, yeah, don't call me a cream pie.
You call me a little cream pie.
Oh, I'm calling you a cream pie. I don't think I should call you a cream pie either. I think that might belong on you, boobs.
No, oh, what?
Yeah.
All right, what did you say
It's
now?
getting
What
weird
are you
over
saying? What are you saying?
I think you should clarify what you mean about Rokimoto and Thrilljoy being big companies, because realistically they are not big.
I'm saying like bigger.
I don't.
Like they're bigger,
yeah.
like in comparison to like little guys like us.
I do not see them taking Funko over, taking over for Funko in the near future. I think that they definitely have the ability to become bigger. I mean, they're in their first. Both of them are in less than their first year. I mean, like the first 6 months. Right?
Well, no matter what way you cut it, there's a competition between all of them because it's who's buying what.
Yeah.
What are the fans going to buy? Are they going to buy Funko? Are they going to buy Rokimoto? Are they going to buy Thrilljoy? Are they going to buy Mischief Toys? Are they going to buy all of the above? What are they going to buy, right? That's what people think. That's how they're when they're looking at their bank account and they're like, okay, I have enough money to buy myself a couple collectibles this week. I got to make a big choice. Who am I buying from? At the end of the day, all those companies are vying for the people to buy their products, right?
Absolutely.
So in other words, if Funko does not sell well and people don't care about Funko anymore, then Thrilljoy or Rokimoto have the power to become the next big.
For sure.
I guess my point.
Yeah. So I think that
The opportunity is there.
yeah, I think that there is a place in the world for every collectible company. I think that Thrilljoy being like a solely for the most part limited piece company is really cool. I don't think they're striving to become like $1 billion company like Funko. But their business model is not really to make fistfuls of money. I mean, they're doing limited edition products, right? Limited edition products, it's not like you're going to be rolling in cash.
Yeah.
But I mean, the person behind it, the people behind it are clever. They know what they're doing. And I want to say for the most part, because I feel like with every company, like we've seen a couple little hiccups here and there, and I think that that's normal. Even though some people might not like to give companies grace because of the people who are behind it, they don't really think about like everything that those people have done in recent years. You know what I mean? Like Mariotti was CEO of Funko, but under the CEO, there's like so many people doing so many different jobs. Thrilljoy
Right.
is like this big.
Yeah.
So he's doing things that he probably hasn't done in many, many years, or maybe he's never done before.
Yeah.
And they're sort of just navigating that. And Rokimoto, I mean, Funmaker Mike, man, he's just doing his own thing. And I think that's really cool. Like, you can see that he enjoys it, and he's just like, you know what? I don't really give a fuck what you think. I'm doing this for me because I think it's cool. And I think that when you have a product and you can see excitement from the person creating it, I think that that's more magical than pumping out something where it's like, here's a Spider-Man pop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I really
it's faceless.
like...
It's soulless.
Yeah, I really like a good connection to a company, and I think that they definitely have the ability to be someone's first choice of, this is what I'm going to buy with my next paycheck instead of this other thing.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's the thing, like with what we do, it is not soulless. I mean, Mischief Toys, like behind everything that we do, there's a lot of care and love in all the stuff that we do, and there's always a good reason behind why we're doing it, right? It isn't like we just, we're just going to do this weird monster thing and let's just make that, and then we just put it out as, we're just making a monster. Everything that we talk about and work with our artists and all that kind of stuff, there's a soul there. And I'm not saying that there's absolutely no soul with any other company. I'm just saying from our perspective, who we are and what we do, there's a soul there.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, and I think people can see that. See, now Funko is at a place right now that they're trying to find who the face is of Funko. Now we're gonna tail back on our question because here's our question. Okay, we'll answer this. Both of us are gonna give our own answers, and this is like the synopsis. Is it a smart idea or a bad idea that Fundays is not taking place during SEC?
100%.
Well, no, not yet. No, you're
I already
jumping
answered
You're
it.
jumping the gun.
Sorry.
You're jumping the gun.
I
You said
already
100%, and you didn't give me which one. So just hold it there.
Okay.
Good. You said 100%, but we still don't know your choice.
Okay.
Dave Brewer said, but wouldn't you want Mischief Toys to become a $1 billion company? That's a good question. I mean, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to see what they've created, what they've worked so hard for, to garner attention, to become something greater and bigger than we had ever dreamed of? Of course. I mean, I'd be stupid if I sat here and said, "Oh no, well, and because you see people do that. They're like, it's all about the art and this and that, blah blah." At the end of the day, art always is in there, but the reality is that we're operating a business, and so if we're not able to sell product, if we're not able to, if it's going to sit on the shelves forever, the business goes away. I mean, there's nothing that you could do. It's gone. But I guess my point is that we do not need to be a $1 billion business in order to be happy, to find our success, because we don't need that. We don't need to be a $1 billion company to have success, because we've already become successful. And the fact that we were able to take something so grassroots in a little picture, a little stupid picture I drew up on my phone that looked like crap, and turned it into this world of Mischief Toys, and putting on events and seeing all these people clamoring for brand new Funko, Jesus, brand new Mischief Toys products, Ghastlies and Mortems and Demonstro. That's the most exciting part for me, to see that people give a shit. If people didn't give a shit about Mischief Toys, I would have stopped. Like, we would have just given up. But I know people give a shit about Mischief Toys. I know that there are legions of fans out there. And that's what makes me excited. You know, talking about the soul of a company, Grassley is a prime example. That was such a soulful drop. Maybe one of the most soulful drops that we've ever done. Because, Max, our son, put so much love into that. And seeing that he put the love into it. Somebody messaged me the other day, and they said, it is so cool to see that you guys did this for Max. And that is such a big deal. And what other kid can say they've done this, right?
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling. If I were to walk away from Mischief Toys today, that is like the shining star for, as far as I'm concerned, for Mischief Toys. That we're able to make that happen. That we're able to make his dream, which he never thought would even ever happen in a million years. He was so shocked to see that dream could come true. What that really says, in my opinion, so if you have kids out there, or like a son, daughter that's like Max's age or whatever, that's a good story to share with them. Because if you put your mind to it and you got really great ideas, it can come true. It can come to life. Yeah. Right? We're just so lucky that we have this so we could do that for him. Yeah. I'm so proud of him.
It's really cool that we were able to do that. But, I mean, I'd like to answer David's question and say I want to make enough money to survive. We didn't dip into Mischief Toys at all for our personal, personally, until I quit my job last August. And I only pay myself enough to survive. We put most of our money back into the business. We always have. I have a very small salary because I'm able to take a small salary. We're very lucky that Chris has a very, very good career, and I'm able to do that, and we're able to just continue to roll Mischief Toys money back into the business and create cool shit. And I mean, who wouldn't want to be a fucking billionaire, right? Who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? But it's not about that for me. It's just about, doing what I enjoy, being happy, and like doing cool stuff. Like, I've always been a people person. And I like to see people happy and having fun. And the fact that like we can make toys and do something that we've been talking about on this channel, we've been collecting toys, like Chris said, for over 10 years now. So the fact that we're able to like bring these crazy ideas to life, and God, you guys haven't even seen like the crazy shit yet. Like, you might think that you've seen some crazy stuff from Mischief Toys, but we're bringing like truly crazy stuff later this year. And I'm just really excited to, anytime I have this cool new idea, I'm like, how quick can I get this made? Because I just want to like make people laugh with this, or make people, want something cool or cute or creepy or whatever the design may be. And I mean, happiness is it for me. It's really not money, I guess.
Well said.
Thanks.
I think. If you guys become a $1 billion company, will you both start wearing top hats and monocles on lives? Of course we would.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Why would I ever pass that opportunity up? Of course I'm wearing a monocle and a top hat. But going back to Funko. God, by the way, I'm really worn out. I'm really tired. I stayed up way too late last night, and I didn't get enough sleep. I feel like crap. But I'm glad to be here. So, going back to Funko and Fundays and all that, I think that it is both a bad and good thing. So I think that Funko being at Funko having Fundays at SDCC is one of those things that it's become a staple. And that staple, that event not taking place when it typically would take place, I think I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a detriment. I think it sort of takes Funko back a couple of steps, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like them not doing it is saying a lot. It's speaking volumes, because it's saying maybe they just aren't as popular as they once were, and now they can't do it. Maybe they're not financially doing well, so they can't do it.
I think they can.
But I'm just saying, maybe they need to figure out and shift their money around. I mean, for them not to have it is really weird. Or maybe they're saying, on an opposite spectrum, that we want to change things up and do this differently and just see how it goes. Maybe we'll have it at Funko Hollywood and people will love it. Because they keep I don't know if you noticed this, but in a lot of the language, we're going back to LA where it all started. That's where the
Hollywood.
Hollywood, sorry, Hollywood. That's where it all started. That's where the first Fundays was. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, I like that idea. It's kind of fun, you know, kind of making that statement. Like, we're going back to where it all started. But to go back to where it all started only makes sense if you have Funmaker Mike. You follow me? So it's really weird to say we're going back there and to me. So one of our friends said something the other day. It's almost like, and I don't want to be as nasty as this comes off, but it's like a bunch of corporate people are in a room and they're trying to come up with what is the next cool thing. Like, what's everybody want? What are they all looking for? And what's going to be cool? And what's going to be that? And blah, 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 blah. Instead of having people that really understand collectibles, understand what fans are looking for and what we all want and stuff like that. I just feel like there's a disconnect a little bit there with Funko. I feel like it's become so corporate and the fun is sort of drained because of the corporate aspect of it. I mean, that's just besides the whole Fundays thing. But I think that them taking a different route could be very beneficial in the long run. But I guess that's yet to be determined. But I think the immediate thought is, this is not good. What the fuck? Like, this. I'll be honest. I was one of the first when we were told that news months ago, because we originally weren't allowed to say it for a while, and then we were allowed to talk about the Fundays thing. When I originally heard that, I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible. What the fuck?"
The thing that bothers me the most about the event, I'm going to keep saying it, I don't like that they're calling it Fundays. It is not Fundays from the description they've given.
Yeah.
It's not.
No. Are you going to call it Dumb Days?
Yeah, it's Dumb Days. I really think they should have rebranded it, because it feels like a cheap money grab to me. It feels like they're trying to say, this is Fundays, get people all hyped, because Fundays has almost like this perception that it's like the greatest thing ever associated with it, right? Like, everyone is just like, you know, Fundays is the event. Yeah. And the fact that they're calling this Fundays when it doesn't seem like it's gonna be Fundays is just a bit disappointing.
Well, you know everybody's going to flock to this thing.
Oh,
no matter
for sure.
What. Yeah, they'll all flock to it.
Yeah,
anyway.
no, I
don't think the
that for sure.
popularity's changed in terms of Fundays.
Yeah, I think that people are curious, especially since it's like the first Fundays experience outside of, you know, what it's been for years and years and years.
Yeah.
You know, I think people like to say, I was at the first one, or I discovered it when, you know.
Well, it's definitely not the first one, because remember, the first Fundays was in Hollywood.
It's different.
It's the first Fundays at Funko Hollywood.
It's the first Fundays that is happening.
First Funday experience.
Yes, without
at
Mike.
Funko Hollywood. Without Mike.
Without Mike.
Without Brian.
Right. It just... I don't know. I just don't like it.
You're lost for words. You have no words.
I feel like it's a... It's almost like saying that gold-plated brass is gold. You know what I mean?
You got a lot of stuff you're saying tonight. The Coke and Pepsi thing, now this.
Yeah.
I don't know where else is going to go.
You can't offer me Pepsi and expect me to be cool if I'm a Coke drinker.
What color are your fingernails? Are they silver?
They're like a white with a shimmer.
Interesting.
Like it?
They look like pearl or something.
Yeah, they reminded me of snow. And I was like, oh, that's pretty.
Why snow? It's spring.
They just remind me of snow. I don't know. I just thought it looked pretty.
Oh, I mean, no, they do, but I'm just like, it's weird. Like snow, you would do.
Okay,
like,
you're fucking weird. What else?
I think we already know that.
What else you got?
I don't think I need to be reminded.
Okay. What else
Truthfully,
are you gonna judge
why you keep
me
looking
for?
around? You keep looking at my hair. You're looking everywhere because you want to talk shit. I know what you're looking for something. I know what you're doing. I know you. You're scanning. You're scanning for shit talk is what you're doing. I know what you're doing, Heather. You think I'm gonna? Let's see. Funko out there trying to play wolf in sheep's clothing. I should have made it to Mischief Toys first NYCC. I effed up. Oh no! Wow, that was a long time ago. Calling this new event Fundays to me as Funko's new Coke moment, honestly, yeah. People seemed, oh, hey, Sushi Traveler, thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah, I don't know. It is weird. It is like calling it a new Coke. That's actually a very, that's what I'm talking about. Not Pepsi Coke.
Oh my god.
See, the Pepsi Coke thing that you're doing is like weird.
You're weird. So you know what I was reading the other day? I'm in an Aldi group. Okay? Aldi, yeah, for the grocery store Aldi. And if you don't know what Aldi is, it's basically like a, I guess did it originate in Germany or do they just carry a lot of German products?
Oh my god, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Don't ask me the history
anyway,
of Aldi. I don't know.
They have a lot of like their brand type stuff, like off-brand. Like someone the other day was talking about their jellies. And their household is a Welch's grape jelly household. Well, one day, Mom, they finished out their Welch's grape jelly. She cleaned the jar, and she decided, you know what? I'm gonna put Aldi brand in the Welch's grape jelly jar. And her family did not like that. They could tell the difference.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
That's what this Fundays is. It's
Oh
like
my God,
pretending it's
Heather.
Welch's grape jelly when it's Aldi brand grape jelly.
Mikey says it doesn't matter what they call it if it's successful. Really? I mean, if it's successful, sure.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be successful. I think it's cheap for them to call it something when it's not going to be, based off the description, what it has been. Now, what I will say is, someone pointed out on one of our videos, and I thought this was very interesting. Remember that leak list we got our hands on a couple years ago, where the first one was potentially for, like, years into the future?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we later got, like, that actual year? So one thing on that list was Indiana Jones, Freddie Funko.
Uh-huh.
They said it would be interesting. They have the feeling that it'll be in this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because like the theme is very Indiana Jones.
God, that's like, that would be a Funko Pop I'd like. A Freddie Funko Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be a really cool pop. I had trouble with my payment going through. Funko support really failed. Or Funko support help failed. Got it. Started reply from Jekka. Who's Jekka? Jacob?
I think Jake.
Saying, is it Jake?
Jekka? Or it could be
saying
Jekka.
my account was suspended, so I had my Funko account deleted. Oh my god.
If Fundays stops being successful, do you think they would try to get Mike back? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think that, honestly, I don't know if Mike would have left if he didn't want to.
Yeah, it was by his own choice, I think.
Yeah, that's how it appeared to me. I've never talked to him on a personal level like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think that it was on his own accord.
He cares about Funko.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Both he cares about Funko and also Brian. I mean, they both, you know, they worked and owned and were incredibly involved in Funko for so many years. And it's hard not to still have, you know, some sort of love and appreciation for that. I'm just happy they moved off and did their own thing. And then this year, you're going to be able to see Dreams by Rokimoto and The Block Party by Thrilljoy. So they both have their own events going on. And I'm excited to see what they come out with. You know.
I think they're going to be like worlds different from each other too, which is going to be really cool to see.
Well,
like it'll be so we've seen Fundays, which seems like Mike's baby, but you know, with how big it got, there were a lot of other people involved. I feel like Rokimoto is showing us like what Mike wants to do, and it's not appeasing fans and, in more recent years, the stakeholders of Funko. I think that Mike is just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want with this event, and it's gonna be cool as shit. And with Thrill Joy, I'm very curious to see that, because seeing what they do, they just have such different personalities, and we knew that from seeing them like at events, like videos of them at events and stuff like that. We knew that sort of even in the little Funko promo videos, they're completely different people, and it'll be cool to see these two separate events that have like their own personal flair.
Well,
I'm really excited.
Rokimoto isn't leaning so hard on licenses, so that makes that thing interesting. We saw Peanuts and Godzilla at this point, but generally, I think it's really cool that Rokimoto is trying to do something different and off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Now, you know, David Brewer asked, Mischief Toys becoming a billion-dollar company. Rokimoto, I could see doing some really great things, but would they become like super popular or super billionaires from Rokimoto? It's really hard to say, because Rokimoto is such a niche thing, and people are like, oh my god, this is awesome, Mike Becker's doing what he wants to do, and that's so much fun. But is there really like a big dedicated super fan base for Rokimoto, right? I mean, that's sort of the question. Throwjoy, on their other hand, they're like experimental with what they're doing.
It's cool.
And they came out with the picks, and then now they're coming out with the little guys and doing all sorts of stuff. But they're heavy on licenses, so they're doing but they're also including some of these experience sort of things. So they're just doing a lot of really weird and different things, and I think that's cool.
I think that's going to draw a lot of people in.
But it's like, I'm excited to see what SDCC brings for both of those companies. Like because I feel like we don't necessarily have a clear vision of what the next step is for both of them.
Yeah.
But I think SDCC will bring what the clear next step is. Because Throwjoy started last year at New York Comic Con. They started New York Comic Con, and it was a brand new thing, and people were running around New York Comic Con with these big gigantic bags full of Throwjoy stuff. And then Throwjoy comes out this year, and they're like, okay, we're going to shrink things down a little bit. We're going to make the thing smaller, and we're going to try that route. And it's like, okay, it's kind of cool watching them sort of like figure out what works. And Funko did that, really. I mean, they had their Wacky Wobblers, then they went to the Funko 4 stuff, and then they went to a Funko Pop, and then Funko Pop blew the top off. And I think that both of these companies are in the same boat right now. They're experimenting, trying things, and then whatever works is what they're going to end up going with, and it could blow up. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Can they strike gold twice? Mike Becker and Brian, can they strike gold twice? And it'll be interesting to see that. I want to see what the outcome is of all of this. And I like both products. I'll be frank with you. I'm not a super fan of either product. I'm not. I do like the Mega Picks a lot. I think the Mega Picks are really fun. Personally, I'm not going to buy a ton of them. That just isn't. I just don't have a lot of room for it. I like the little figures that they're talking about. I think those are cool. But I'm just not like a super crazy fan of it. Like when I found Funko, I was like incredibly super fan. Like I just wanted everything. Remember?
Yeah.
But that's all. But also everything has changed. But my collecting has also changed too.
Yeah.
Right.
So I personally am super into both lines. Like, I'm all in. I like them both a ton.
That's awesome.
I also see the potential that they have to grow. I mean, I think they both have
absolutely
been very successful so far, and I'm eager to see what's next. And as you know, we can sit back and judge Funko all day, but Funko's been around for
They have
so many years.
They have a superior product in a Funko Pop. They just do. I mean, I'm not saying better than everything else. I'm just saying it's an incredible product. Pop was an incredible creation.
Good size, good price, very good price point, and tons of licenses.
And the box. The box is a perfect thing to have signed. That's what I told Brian when he was talking about Throw I was like, you know, windows are perfect. Because when I was looking at that Pix, I was like, this is perfect. There's a window on it. Mm-hmm. You know, actors, actresses can sign. That's great. And but see, Rokimoto isn't like that. Rokimoto isn't making products where you go and get them signed.
It's its own thing.
Yes,
it's not relying on licenses. And what it's relying on is cuteness. And, you know, if you're drawn to that and you like a mystery type product, Rokimoto is your thing. I think they're adorable. What's crazy is it's not something that I would normally be drawn to.
I'm more taken with small independent brands personally. And that's what ended up making us start Mischief Toys, is that I like the small brands. I love to see what they're going to do, what they're able to do. Like Barely Available as an example. Barely Available just made that Jason Voorhees Barely. There it is right there. Can you hand that to me? Mm-hmm. They just made this Jason Voorhees Barely. It's sold out. And it's an LE of 100. But an excellent figure. I love it. I think it's so cool and so different. And I'd much rather buy this than anything that's inside of a store right now. Personally, I think this is so much fun. It's so like silly. It's the Barely character with a, oops, my water's falling, with the Jason Voorhees mask on. Isn't it cool? And he's got on the back of his head, you can see his mask is connected back there. I think that's so cool. That's so awesome, and I love it. I think I think this figure is also a great figure. I love that they can print all sorts of cool stuff on it. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Old Tiny Ghost.
Yes.
Because they could you just slap different things on there and it would just be cool. Same thing with Ghastly, right? Same thing with Ghastly. But I find this to be more interesting, you know, because this gives the opportunity. Like our artists we'll pitch them something. I'll say, make me. I don't know, what's something I could say? Make me a Friday the 13th type slasher character, like a killer. And then they're like, oh, okay, let me go and throw something together. And what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And it's like constant sending art to us, and we're taking a look at it, and we're like, oh, that's great, we love this. Most of the time with the artists, it's like, they do whatever they want. You and I, we'll just come up with an idea, and then it's like, maybe this to be involved, like we think this would look cool on it. And then they pitch something back after they go through all their work. And they give us an incredible product. Yeah. And we're like, this is fucking cool. It's giving an artist's work the opportunity to work with something they normally wouldn't. Like all of our artists are not toy people. They've never worked on a toy before. So the fact that they have the opportunity to work on a toy or work on a print, work on a pin, these are all things that they're not used to. They all work for like companies that are like, is it like architectural or something like that, isn't it? It's like architecture. I don't want to go like too deep into it, but it's like totally not related to toys. So we're giving them opportunities to do other things. That's what I love about these independent guys. Like the guy behind Barely Available, he is doing all of this stuff. He's sometimes making them out of his house. The little tiny figures as well. Yeah, I actually have a little resin. Where's my little resin guy? He's around here somewhere. I just had him the other day. He's a little tiny bear, like sitting down looking bear guy. Is he over there? There he is.
Here he is.
Yeah, so I bought this. This was like made right inside of his house. So
probably not inside of his house.
Or like in his little garage or something.
Yeah, because I think resin is like.
I'm gonna break it.
Don't break it. I think resin is very fumey.
But it's like clear, and on the inside of this clear part is like this handmade thing too. Like the amount of work that goes into this is amazing. I bought this thing. I think I spent like $120 on this, but it's so small. And you know, you look at this and you're like $120, but when you get real up close to it and you see all the work that went into it, it's like, I'd much rather have this than 10 Funko Pops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's how I'm looking at things now. Now I'm not a collector. I'm not the same type of collector as all of you. Everybody has their own thing and what they like, but I think the independent stuff is what's most fun. And I think that's where you get a lot of like cool ideas. Like who the hell is making this? Zombie Uncle Sam? Ghastly?
Uncle Ghastly. Stop calling him Uncle Sam.
He says it on the back of the box, Heather.
Hey, I must not have
By the way, this figure will be showing up at. We will most likely bring some with us at Day of Mischief.
It's not. We most likely we will.
We are bringing some.
Bringing these to Day of Mischief
and
in case
some
you need
to
one.
Living Dead Weekend.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll have some available. If anybody missed out and they want to get it and do all the things, it'll be available. Double cast resin. Thank you.
I don't think we have all that many left.
Nope. But we'll have some available. Yeah, U2s are great. I love U2s.
Oh, I love U2s. So they teased.
I know.
New Breaking Bad ones today. We're finally getting the Salamanca brothers.
Hell yeah.
I am so excited about that specifically because, God, I wish I would have had them when we met them. Because I had nothing for them to sign besides I have the Crystal Ship Funko Pop. It's the bus that they make their meth in, and Jesse Pinkman's at the top. And we met Hank, we met Gomi, we met the Salamanca brothers, and we met Walt Jr. Is there anyone I'm missing?
I don't think so.
I think that was it. And I had them all sign that, which was just absolutely incredible. But I really wished I had like things specific to them. Like Gomi and the Salamanca brothers, I had nothing besides that for them to sign. So for Walt Jr., he actually has a U2s. It's him in like a cereal bowl. It's Walt Jr. in a cereal bowl. I had him sign that. And then Hank, he's on a toilet. And he signed that for me, which I loved. But it would have been cool to have the Salamanca brothers. So I'm excited to have that, add those to my collection, and hopefully one day have them sign them. And I really want to meet what is his name? Oh my God, it's escaping me right now. Gus Fring.
Yeah.
I really want to see him again and have him sign my Dead Gus U2s because I have
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes, I have the Pop signed, which is cool, but I really have this love for getting U2's figures signed, like not the boxes, the figures.
Yeah. The Mischief Mondays theme is announced, or I'm going to announce it right now. It's bathroom. I want to do something really off the wall wacky, so I'm hoping that you guys take really great pictures. So for those who do not know what Mischief Monday is, every Monday we have a theme, and you take a picture of your favorite Mischief Toys figures, products, plush, whatever, and we'll give you a word, and you take a picture based off of like the word. So this one's going to be bathroom, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have some real fun with that. Shiroki Moto and Throw Joy have an event at NYCC 2025. I feel like they will.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think.
I think so. They're both West Coast based companies. I think it would be more difficult for them to put on an East Coast event just because, if they're not having it at NYCC.
Well, they have their events that are panels.
Yeah,
so I think that's what the event is.
I think they should have events because people people on the East Coast beg for Funko to come to the East Coast. So if companies from the West Coast come east, it's so cool for them to have an event here.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can see some of that at NYCC, and hopefully it's just not on the same day as Night of Mischief, because I really hate that we missed the Thrilljoy panel last year. But I think that's very important, especially because the West Coast gets so much love with, Funko specifically, but I have the feeling like Rokimoto and Thrilljoy are going to have more events over there, so it would be cool for them to bring them more east, even if they do let's say C2E2 in the future or something that's a little bit more mid. I think that would be cool.
Well, we'll have our Mischief Toys event most likely this year, so you have to look out for that. Night of Mischief, if you don't know what that is, we'll have more details, but it's a really fun event, hangout, all sorts of giveaway stuff, and just a celebration of Mischief Toys. So more information will come towards the New York Comic Con Mischief Toys event.
Yeah. But if you're looking for an event on the East Coast, we do have Day of Mischief coming up, and it's coming up really fast.
At the end of May,
We have less than a month. It is May 24th. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. So
if you're not on the Mischief Toys train, this is the perfect way to get on the train.
It is.
Because there are super limited figures there that I'm telling you right now, the fans are going to go insane over this shit, and they're going to regret if they do not attend this. I'm saying that right now with all confidence because I am currently surrounded by all the things. I've been surrounded by it all weekend.
Amazing.
Writing for the event and trying to make sure I have everything in place. There's a lot of stuff I have to film beforehand. There's just so much, and it's not only is it a great event for exclusives, but great for meeting fellow friends that are in the fan base. Meeting us, meeting the narrator, meeting our artists. You're going to meet our new artists, our newest artists who you guys have not met yet, and much, much more. We're also going to have a table there that will be full of product that is like past product that we've had, maybe that you've missed. We're also going to have very special pins that you could only buy at this event that are as limited as like 50 pieces. It's just really wild stuff, and I think you guys are going to love it. Get on the Mischief Toys train, jump aboard with us, and go on this journey and adventure together with us. And I think you guys will be. I think you guys are going to be super stoked. Somebody actually posted something on Instagram today, a video. They tagged us, and I'm so excited over their excitement for Mischief Toys. They said they believe it's their new obsession. And anytime I hear somebody say that, it just really gets me excited. I love hearing that people are finding us, they're loving what we're doing, and they're on board with what we're doing. And I think that we're about to see an onslaught of brand new Mischief Toys vans in the month of May, because we're finally going to be releasing and unveiling our whole Guar, Ghastly, Mischief Toys lineup of things. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a Mischief Toys fan, if you're a Guar fan, if you are a independent toy company fan, if you're a fan of like heavy metal and rock,
if you're a fan of cool shit,
if you love blood and guts, if you love very colorful things, this is going to be the drop for you. And it's unreal. T-shirts and prints and figures and pins, hats, it's unreal. I can't wait to see what you guys think about all of it. I can't wait to see the reception for all of it. I think it's going to be a real treat for everybody.
Yeah.
And this is the first licensing deal ever for Mischief Toys. So you're going to be a part of what I would consider history for our tiny independent toy company, which is super, super cool.
Gosh, finally, just over 3 years in, we're showing off our first license. I mean, that's wild.
Yep, 3 years. Yeah,
I'm excited.
And not to mention, this has been like 2 years in the making of getting this thing done. Right? We started this in 20. No,
it's been about a year and a half.
Year and a half,
right?
Yes, because we started
October
in about
2023. Was when we were first contacted by Guar, which was really cool.
Yep, year and a half. Shit, it took a while, but we got there. When your backdrop is all cosplay Barbies, I wonder about that claim.
I don't know what that was.
I'm not sure, Corey Hall. What's that mean? Never been to SDCC or NYCC. I'm sorry. Was Funko the biggest deal there next to Mischief Toys? Does Sideshow do events there? Sideshow has had events where people meet up and hang out. There are tickets you can buy for. I don't know. It's not that expensive to go. We bought tickets but didn't attend.
Yeah.
We couldn't go one year. But they have like a little thing. But no, I don't believe they have a booth at NYCC. They like do something outside of NYCC. I would say Funko and Thrilljoy were the biggest deal there.
For sure.
And then us also. We had a lot of buzz at NYCC, which was amazing. Like,
it was so cool.
It was really cool. A lot of people we were interviewed and all sorts of stuff while we were there. And I'm sure that there's content out there that we are in that we've never seen before, but we were in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of people talking to me over that particular weekend. Let's see. Barely Available is amazing. Hell yeah. I love anything Bears too as well, Ray. Hell yeah. I'm a big fan of the collecting landscape right now. Lots of variety for the fan to choose from. 100% Brian Barrick. And that's what it's all about, right? You have choices, And what I think makes a shelf of collectibles look cool, like just as an example, if you look at this shelf, right? My little shelf I'm setting up right here. I got my barely available guys. I got my Ghastly. I got my Starscream here, right? Oh, look. I even got myself a Roki Moto. I got myself, who's this? There's a prototype figure of Mortem. Look at that lineup. They're all just so different, and it's like more interesting to look at. It's fascinating, right? Especially out of the box is so much better. I used to be an in the box hoe, but now I'm an out of box hoe. And that's how we should all be hoeing in the same way, 100%. Okay, let's see. In my opinion, independent toy collectible companies are the best. Thank you, Fallen Angels. I agree with that. I think they're great. Lots of interesting ideas come out of independent toy companies. Because, like, for us, we can't necessarily depend on licenses a lot. We really have to focus on just coming up with out-of-the-box ideas. And I think we've been pretty good at that. Lately, you've been collecting a lot of debt. I hate to hear that, dude. Ray, I hope it gets better, buddy. That's how I see it when I buy Mischief Toys items. I'd rather buy your guys' stuff instead of Funko Pop. Zombie Monkey, yeah, dude. That's so sweet of you to say that. Thank you. Means a lot. Means a whole lot. Did you all meet Trejo? Yes, we did. We did meet Danny Trejo at Awesome Con a couple years ago. Really, really sweet guy.
Yeah, I have my Tortuga U2 signed by him.
I have to grab that Halo and new Coraline U2 sets. Yeah, the U2s are great. How do we get a Chris and Heather U2s? Oh my God, I don't know if that'll ever happen. Maybe one day. I don't know if I don't think we're popular enough. I don't think people would know who the hell we are to buy U2s of us. I would love to see Chris and Heather. Oh my God, you guys are so sweet. It's really sweet of you to say. By the way, Chris, thank you for telling us about the Guar documentary. I found it and watched it. That's amazing, David Brewer. Oh, man, I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, the Guar documentary, I actually watched it, I believe, earlier this week, and it's lovely. It is such a great documentary, and it shows you a very small group of people coming together with the belief of doing something really big, and I would say Guar is legendary. I mean, they've become a legendary band. Now, they're not like at the same level as a Metallica or anything, but most people know who the hell Guar, you know, who the band is. And I think that's incredible. How about some West Coast love for Mischief Toys? Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Carlos.
Maybe when we hit that $1 billion mark, we could do more stuff out there.
Well, I
would really like to go out there and do something, but it's just so difficult to even get us to, you know, New York Comic Con, which is only 3.5 hours away for us. We don't have a team like a lot of the big guys do. You know?
Yeah, but we want to get out to the West Coast. I talk about this an awful lot, and I think that it's important to get out there and see everybody. And I want to do that. I really do. I wish I could fly, literally, on an airplane, but I am terrified. If I could fly, it would make things so much easier. But goddamn, it's rough.
But
really
even
rough.
so, I mean, you'd have to get all the product out there regardless of anything.
Saw Chris's sister last night and started nerding out when she asked if I was going to Day of Mischief. So stoked. Yeah. I believe both my sisters will be there to help with the event in some capacity. Live stream the event. Ray, I can't live stream the event that we're going to be holding. I want to make it very special for those who are in attendance.
But
we want to put on something really cool.
Yeah, we'll likely have like a small condensed version go up on YouTube, like a small little documentary type deal, just showing you sort of bits and pieces that may go on, most likely, and you know, just to get you guys hyped for the next one and hype people up who are attending this one. We really want to make our events exclusive and exciting and special for those who do attend. So, I mean, we put our heart and soul into everything that we do, and we hope that people are willing to come out and support us and see us and get excited for the things that we do. I can tell you that we are working incredibly hard on this event, and it's going to definitely be a really, really cool thing to attend. So if you can make it out, we would love to see you. Can't wait for the Guar drops.
Hell
Hyped
yeah.
for the Guar figure. You guys killed the Guar stuff. People are gonna love it. I agree. And you haven't even seen everything yet. So I'm excited to bring that to everybody. I'm really proud of this.
I am incredibly proud of it, and it was a thing where Heather and I, I've told the story many times, but we had to fight for this, and we literally had to run to the Guar booth or a booth that Guar was at New York Comic Con 2023, and sort of fight our way into the line, hand our products off, giving cards to members, and trying to get us out there, and trying to show Guar who we were. And it was important to me to make it happen. And the fact that I was able to make it happen, or we were able to make it happen, is unreal. I still just cannot believe it. It's shocking to me. This is the biggest thing. This is going to sound insane. This is, aside from, like, obviously having my son and marrying, my beautiful wife, this is the biggest thing ever for me in my whole life. The fact that, I remember my first Guar show ever. I believe it was in 2008. I was a little bit later, a Guar fan, but I went in 2008 to a Viva La Band's tour 2, and Cradle of Filth was the headliner.
Oh, that's
Guar
fun.
played before them.
That's cool.
And also there was, I want to say CKY played. I remember it was like a 4-band lineup. Anyway, Guar was there, and I didn't really know Guar, and so I was waiting for Cradle of Filth to come on, and when Guar came on, it was like a tornado hit the stage.
Oh, they're crazy.
It was insane, but this is back when Brocky was still living.
Yeah.
And just the way that he handled the crowd and yelling and just going crazy on stage and fighting, Gore the dinosaur and monster thing, and just fighting the Satan. It was just insane, and cutting off heads and all sorts of blood everywhere. I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, I've never seen anything like that in a stage show ever.
Yeah.
In concerts. And so now the fact that I'm working, or that we're working with them in some capacity, is just like, old Chris, past Chris, that was at that show, would not, again, we're going back in time again. If we went back in time right now, we told old Chris this, I would say, you're not going to believe this shit. We're working with that band. And I would have been like, what? Are you kidding me? I was like, yeah, it's happening. And he said, God damn, Chris, you're looking good. Did you lose weight? I'm like, I'm a little bit. You got a nice haircut. Who's giving you a haircut? And I go, I got a beautiful wife these days. And then you come around. And he's like, oh, you're hitting that? I'm like, a lot. She's got big feet and her glasses are ridiculous. But yes, I'm hitting that. It's unreal. That's what I would be saying.
Okay.
Old Chris, or young Chris, not old, I'm old Chris, young Chris, would be taken by all this. He wouldn't even believe it. It's like the old Chris is like the Fonz. I'm like the Fonz. Did you know that?
That's cool. Yeah, Guar is a really cool band. I got to see them for the very first time ever last March.
Yeah.
It was just over a year ago, and it was the craziest show I've ever been to. And I'm not like crazy into their music. I recognize their songs. I dig them. I think that they're interesting. They're wild. But I had never seen a show like that before. And I think that that was like one of the best times I've ever had at a concert. I have 2 other top concerts. 3. I'll go with 3. So seeing Ghost live was fucking cool.
It was.
We've seen them in multiple places. The place that I liked the most was at the Hippodrome in Baltimore, because it's a seated venue and there's like this beautiful artwork on the ceilings. It had like a churchy feel.
Yes.
And if you know who Ghost is, you know why that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. Seeing Alexis on Fire, the concert we went to specifically, me and you, I hadn't seen them in about 20 years. We saw them, was it last summer or the summer before? I don't remember.
Summer before.
It was incredible. We walked in and I cried. I was so excited. They're like my favorite band of all time. And I regretted so much because they like broke up numerous times, and then like they would occasionally attend like a festival in some random city, or like they might play a show in Canada or something, and it's like, I'm not going to that. So they came to Maryland a couple years ago, and I cried during that. I was like so excited. I just had just such a good night. And then From Autumn to Ashes, I had never seen them before, and they're one of my favorite bands of all time. And the only really like theatrical one was Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost was pretty theatrical. The other two were just bands playing music, and it was like I loved them so much, so I enjoyed it. But Gwar, they were like a completely different experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know shit about their songs. Like I said, I can recognize some of them. I know the words to a couple of them. But just seeing them on stage was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, they are insane. And they're inventive, they're creative, they're vulgar, they're disgusting, they're just fucking cool. And the fact that we get to work with them is just so neat.
I agree with that. Mischief Toys at MegaCon, one could dream. Sidewalk Surfer, I want to go there badly, and you might see us there sooner rather than later. I want to get into MegaCon. I've heard too many good things. I love to go down to Florida and visit Disney World. It just sounds like the perfect pairing for us. Let's see, if you hit $1 billion, at least Chris would not have to fly. A beach party would be epic if you come out to California, 100%. Heather sounds sweet tonight. She must be sick.
I'm tired.
On the Mischief Toys website, I have an addiction to add to cart buttons, Ray says. Oh my God.
We like that, Ray.
Party at the Hilton after a day of mischief. Heather mentioned previously of having issues with people that run NYCC this year. Did you finally hear back from them? No. It's consistent that we have problems with the people at New York Comic Con. They're terrible.
They are absolutely horrendous, and I have been just dying to make a video about Star Wars Celebration because that was run by the same people who run New York Comic Con. And, you know, I don't want to talk too much shit, but man, I think that they just have such a small staff or something, and they do too many conventions, and they're like big conventions. Like, they don't know what the fuck is going on, and it is infuriating. I have dealt, when we went to AwesomeCon, man, I'm telling you, that was the most organized. Like, I expected it to be, I didn't expect it to be as bad as New York Comic Con, but since they're a smaller convention, like, for some reason in my head, I was like, you know, they're not really gonna give a shit about anyone, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a convention as big as New York Comic Con and as well known as New York Comic Con, you would imagine that they would be on top of everything. But that's not the case at all. The small guys are the one, like, AwesomeCon was the most responsive. Anytime I called our contact, he answered, and he had an answer for the question, and he would be right there with whatever the solution was. It was incredible. And New York Comic Con, Reed Pop specifically, they're just so frustrating to deal with. I contacted them during C2E2. I didn't even realize that, you know, I didn't put two and two together that it was C2E2 for whatever reason. And I contacted her. This was like the third follow-up, by the way. I had, you know, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Silence. Hey, following up. Silence. Hey, just wanted to follow up. Any word? Silence. Then I finally contact during C2E2 weekend, and I get a response, but it's, I'm on the floor at C2E2. Okay, what's been your fucking excuse the last 3 times that I've contacted you?
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And, I feel like when you're running a convention, you should be respectful to your vendors, and I feel like we've been very respectful to them. We've been very kind to them. We pay on time. We have these exclusives which can draw people to conventions, right? And you would imagine they wouldn't want to soil a relationship with vendors. And, I'm not saying we're the biggest vendors in the world by any means, but I feel like, they have consistently been shitty with us and everyone that we've spoken with that has had to deal with Reed Pop.
Yeah, it's a mess. Did they design these Mischief figures from scratch? They look amazing.
Yes. Chris drew the very first Ghastly. I don't think we have...
Here's a common Ghastly.
Oh, okay. So this is basically...
I think this is what you're talking about, Ray. I'm sorry if you're not, and I'm showing you something you already know, but that was the OG Ghastly. But I made a picture of him, and then we started making various figures of him. So, and we have really great artists who bring these ideas to life. Sometimes it's the artist's idea, their ideas, and so we've grown a really great fan base, and we have a good lineup of people working with us. I'm so proud of what we've done so far. Putting, getting the availability of a lot of work for people. So we're able to, I guess, have some people making some money through Mischief Toys that are Maryland residents.
Yeah.
And that's important to me. They have opportunities to make some extra money. And that's really cool. So as we grow and as we do all the things. I hadn't realized Guar was around since the early 90s. They've actually been around since the 80s. I want to say 85? If I remember correctly, don't quote me on that. Ghastly was originally... Oh, okay. So Damien's explaining. Thank you for doing that. Who wants to make an exchange friendship bracelets, Jess says.
Aw, that's fun. Jess is good at that.
That's right.
The new Ghost music is great. Ooh.
So I gotta listen to it a little bit more. I'm seeing a lot of like mixed opinions. Like some people are saying they're listening to the album like over and over and over again, and it's like their favorite album now.
So
but I need to like listen to it a bit more.
Same. So my first listen, not super impressed. However, anytime an artist that I like makes new music, because it's not something I know yet, I'm not instantly like, oh my god, I love this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to give things a couple of listens before I'm fully on board. Like, okay, here's an example. Completely different from any of the bands that I've talked about, but a little over a year ago now, Taylor Swift came out with the Tortured Poets Apartment.
Yeah.
And I fucking hated I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. That was, I think it was her second single on the album. And it's basically like a song about her being depressed and she's going through this shit, but she still puts on a show because she's good at what she does. And she's basically like, you can't top me right now. And the depressing lyrics mixed with the upbeat music, I was like, this is too much. I don't like it. Mm-hmm. And the more I listen to it, the more I fall in love. Same way, anytime Alexis on Fire comes out with a new album, like their sound is so different throughout every single album. You listen to their first album and their latest album, and you wouldn't even be able to hardly tell it's the same band. And I fucking hate every album every single time I listen to it for the first time. I'm like, what is this? And then I grow to love it.
Yeah.
Like, that's me.
Just gotta grow on you.
Yeah, that's how I deal with like all music. So I feel like Ghost is going to be the same. The new Trevor Something album, though, I like that one song that you like.
The new Trevor Something album is his best album he's ever put out.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's good from start to finish. It isn't often that you listen to an album and you just love it all the way through. And that one, if you're out there and you like kind of like electronic music, synthy type stuff, with vocals in it, right? Like a singer is in it. Trevor Something You can find him all over the place, but his newest album came out just like recently. By the way, and it's very good.
It was
By the way,
4/4.
a Cradle of Filth album came out. I didn't even know. It came out in March. I didn't even listen to it.
What?
Yeah, I got to go back and
Wow.
listen to it. I'll listen to it this week. A million band C4 says, and she farts all over the place. Heather, you are awesome.
Thank you, C4.
Funko News Canada is going to take you to Canada for a show.
Ooh, I like that.
I bet Manson's show were pretty wild. Yeah, Manson. I was never a fan of Manson personally. Manson, but I heard his shows are pretty
he's
wild.
all right, but I would love to have seen him live, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that would be like the peak. I mean, I'd love to see him today.
I was, so Eric is talking about he likes the Barely. Me too. If you're talking about this guy, I really like this one. I was able to buy a AP on his website yesterday, and it has a chance at being the Chase, which is the Nintendo color variant. I really hope it's the Chase. I don't expect it to be because I'm never very lucky with that kind of stuff. But it would be super cool if we were able to get the Chase to go with this guy. Look at this at the bottom. Look at it's numbered.
Yeah. Chomps are doing that too.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but the problem that you run into, like Chomp and Barely, these are pretty sturdy. You know what I mean? So like with Ghastly, sometimes we get shipments that are sort of fucked up, and I'd be concerned. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been very rare that we have anything that's like damaged to that
Well, you're talking about
point.
damaged box. Not figures.
We've had a couple of damaged figures.
Difference between Ghastly
Yeah.
and like these other figures, like Chomp. I think he's made of a couple pieces, but it's like real like.
Sturdy.
Yeah, where Ghastly has like little arms and legs coming off him. He is a little bit different, but
Yeah, he
whatever.
is- he is
But we
a
should
lot
definitely talk about that. So what I'm talking about here, I'm talking to Heather. I really like that they're telling you the amount on the bottom. So this is number 57 out of 100.
Yeah. It is
I would like
cool.
to do this with Ghastly, and
It is
Mortem
cool.
and Demonstro. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about
I
it.
like that idea. Let's see. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I'm missing it. Hold on, let's see. Singer Papa had throat surgery some years ago, and that's why the music mellowed out. Oh, interesting. It took me about 4 plays of the newest Ad Infinitum album before I got really into it, either the clam says. Million Band C4, thank you. He says, great live. I will tell anyone that listens to check out the band Dogma if you like Ghost and a dose of exceptionally rude nuns. Oh my God, there's a band called
sounds fun.
Dogma? Hold on, let me see what you're talking about here. Dogma. By the way, if you go over to MischiefToys.com right now and you buy a figure, any figure, you have a chance at getting, it's either you get a pack of stickers, of 5 stickers, maybe even some unreleased stickers, or an AP pin, or just a random pin that that we've released in the past. Oh my God. Look at this album cover.
That's wild.
You guys have to see this. Hold on. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Can I? No, I can't. Look at that album cover.
That's fun.
Okay, what's this sound like? Hold on.
That's very fun.
Does have a...
It's very ghosty. Just with women, it sounds like.
I said I feel the heat. Okay, that's cool.
What if she said, I feel the heat between my teats?
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, so they're new. They have a single that came out called Band. That's cool. All right. Cool. Thank you. I will start listening to Dogma now. Thank you so much, Amy. Who got their inspiration from Powerwolf? Oh my God, Powerwolf. I remember them. Long time ago. In This Moment does great shows. Definitely. Oh, Wednesday 13 is great. I remember Wednesday 13. I used to listen to him all the time. He did a lot of like horror inspired like
Yeah.
songs. Like, you know, I think there's a song called like Haddonfield something something, you know, from Halloween and shit like that. It was cool. Rob Zombie. I would love to see Rob Zombie one day. I'm not like a super fan, but I would love to see them. Thank you, Christina Payne, for all the love. Travis Spalding said new album dropped Friday. I'll check it out. Thank you. Walk in Darkness is a good gothic rock band. What? Walk in Darkness? All right. Walk in Darkness. Let's see. I'm learning all sorts of things. You know, when you get older, you don't like listen to anything else but what you know. But I'll listen to Walk in Darkness. F it. Fuck it, Heather. What's this? Oh, it's a female lead singer. Interesting. Okay, thank you. I'll listen to that as well. Can I buy Damaged Ghastly figures? I have an idea. So believe it or not, we don't have any Damaged Ghastly figures, do we?
We do, actually.
We do?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah.
Can Samurai
No, we don't
Jin
sell
buy
those.
some?
They're
No?
on my desk.
They're on your desk. Okay.
I glued them back together. I think I have like 3 of them.
All right. There's your answer, unfortunately. Heather's hoarding them. I'd be down for numbers on the figure. Me too. How about the new Coheed album? I haven't listened to Coheed since their first album, believe it or not. It's been that long ago. I used to love Coheed and Cambria. They were great.
They're fun.
DIY Ghastlies are on the website, that's for sure. Thank you, Christina Payne.
We also have this guy. We have a skeleton Demonstro, a regular red Demonstro. We have Sketch Ghastly, just a couple of those left. We have a handful of Ghastly bundles left.
Yep, and I'm Dead Gaming. Have you ever listened to Mushroom Head? Yes, I was obsessed with the first album, but you know, when I was a bit younger, when it first came out. Never listened to much of what came after, maybe the second album, but the first album I was super into it, and I still go back and listen to it from time to time. The vocals on that album are just so wild. Like, that lead singer was wild as shit. And I know they've changed lead singers and stuff. I don't even know what they sound like today. I'm sure it's so far different.
Weren't they on Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack?
Maybe.
I think
but
they were.
So, like, their claim to fame was they had masks and stuff before Slipknot. And that was, like, always something that would be talked about. Like, they had masks before Slipknot wore masks and blah, blah, blah. And Slipknot copied off them and all this stuff. And it's like, well, if we're going to go that far, Gwar is the one who really started with masks. And if you want to go further than that, how about Kiss wearing their face paint, right? You didn't know who they were. So I think it's a lot of bullshit. Einstein Kills, that's funny because I've never gotten into them. I'd have to try them out and give them a listen. I have literally never listened to them. Any Common Mortems coming soon? Any more Common Mortems?
Not right now.
I know that on the horizon we will have a new variant of Mortem coming in a bit, which I'm super stoked about. I love Mortem, as most of you do, and he's this one's a cool one. I'm excited.
Mushroom Head was on the album, so Il Nino was on.
Oh my God, El Nino! They were awesome.
Yeah,
I forgot about El Nino.
We saw them last year. Remember?
We did?
Yeah, with Cradle of Filth.
Wow, I don't remember that.
What do you mean you don't remember that?
I do not remember seeing El Nino.
They came on before Cradle of Filth.
I don't remember.
Kill Switch Engage, Spine Shank, Mushroom Head.
Spine Shank is awesome.
Hatebreed,
Kill Switch Engages too. Chimera.
Chimera, thank you.
Chimera is very good.
From Autumn to Ashes, I do not remember that being on Freddy vs. Jason.
Chimera was unbelievable. They were just loud.
They did.
Were cool.
Oh my God! The After Dinner Payback was on the Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack. From Autumn to Ashes.
Oh.
Seven Dust, Power Man 5000.
What's Seven Dust?
Leech.
Okay.
Murder Dolls, Seether, Stone Sour, Devil Driver.
Stone Sour?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stone Sour, Devil Driver, Sepultura. Yeah, Sepultura. The Blank Theory, Nothing Face, In Flames, Lamb of God, Typo Negative.
This is on Jason versus Freddy?
Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason? In Flame? What In Flame song? Damn, that's a crazy album.
Trigger.
Okay, can I see?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God, Peter Steele from Typo Negative. He was on there.
How about Hall & Oates? Oh my God, Richard, I love Hall & Oates. I love Hall & Oates.
Lamb of God is a pretty great band. Devil Driver. Stone Sour, I didn't know Stone Sour was out during that film. I thought they came out way later.
I thought In Flames did.
No, In Flames been around for a while.
I know they have,
I
but
was
like
obsessed with In Flames.
I always, whenever I hear their name, I feel like they're newer. I think it's just because I didn't really.
My
listen
issue
to
with bands a lot is that they were screaming bands, right? Like with like these incredibly loud and way over the top vocals, and then they can't do it as much anymore, and now they have to sing a lot.
Yeah.
And that happened to In Flames. Like they still do the screaming stuff, but not as much from the last album that I'd listened to by them. So I like the older stuff a lot better. Murder Dolls is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
Murder Dolls is where, remember Wednesday 13 was mentioned? Wednesday 13, I believe, was in Murder Dolls.
Really?
Yes, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Wednesday 13. He was a core member.
Hall & Oates sounds like something you'd eat at breakfast. It really does. I love Hall & Oates. So, fun story. When I was a kid, me and my sister were obsessed with Spice Girls like the rest of the entire freaking world.
I call them Hall and Scroats.
Don't say that.
I do.
So we would always put the Spice Girl like cassettes in my dad's Chevy Blazer when we would drive to daycare. He would drive us to daycare in the morning. And, you know, whenever we would be in the car, we would listen to Spice Girls or like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, whatever. And I remember one day he got so fucking tired of listening to the goddamn Spice Girls. He said, you know what? I have a new band that we're going to listen to. It's the Spice Boys. And he put in a Hall & Oates cassette. And I hated it at the time because, hello, it wasn't Spice Girls. But I love them so much.
Wow, Spine Shank is getting back together. They got back together for some sort of show.
That's cool.
And they might be back, baby.
That's cool.
Spine Shank were great.
So,
what a name. Shank in your spine. Can you imagine
that's
having
creepy.
Can you imagine having your spine shanked, Heather?
No. I can't actually. But I
Nine Inch Nails for Neutron looks amazing. That sounds amazing. I can't wait for that.
I serenade Chris anytime we're somewhere and Hall & Oates comes on.
You're not serenading anybody.
And he loves it so
I
much.
don't like it. I think it's absolutely horrendous.
You make my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true.
Murder Doll's first album were
love
mostly
Hall &
Wednesday
Oates.
13 songs from his previous band Frankenstein Drag Queens from Planet 13. Holy balls. That's a name.
That is wild.
Another soundtrack that I love was for the first Resident Evil. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember the Resident Evil film soundtrack. I didn't have it, but I remember a friend of mine had it or something. We used to listen to it all the time. Shanking your spine is an epidural. You hear that?
Yeah, I hear that they can fuck you up.
I was watching an early 2000 cartoon. What the hell was that? Oh, it's this. I thought something like liquid fell on me or something. I was like, what is it?
Remember earlier when I saw a ghost?
You did see it, guys.
I did. It was creepy.
I was watching an early 2000 cartoon called Evil Con Carne, and there's a character on there called Dr. Major Ghastly. Holy
That's
ball
funny.
bags! That's amazing.
You know what I'm excited for tomorrow? You gotta say something.
What?
I get an eye exam tomorrow.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Heather. I mean, come on. If you're going to say something fun, I want to know something good that's happening.
It is good that's happening. You know how long I've had these glasses? I've had eye exams since then. And I have returned every pair of glasses because for some reason, I don't like them. And I desperately
What are we doing about the glasses?
need to
We're going
see
to keep
better.
them on, or we're going to do something else?
No, I'm getting new ones. These ones are messed up. Look. You see that? That's how old. These are 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, that's so nasty.
They're clean. It's just
It's just wear and tear.
The plastic is degrading.
But what are we
Yeah.
thinking? Are we thinking maybe we'll do contacts or something? Or?
I can't do contacts.
Why?
My eyes don't work with them.
Your eyes don't work with them.
Yeah, you were there with me through the whole contact lens experience. This is just like you misremembering that we saw El Nino.
Well, El Nino must have not have been that memorable for me. But let's put an end to this because it is almost 10:30. We got to go because I'm tired. I got to get ready for work tomorrow.
Was
I
it
don't feel
El
like
Nino that
going
we saw?
tomorrow. I'm tired. But look, go over to MischiefToys.com and buy yourself a brand new figure. Whatever figure you buy, it doesn't matter which one. Right now, between now and Tuesday, just before midnight Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. You buy a figure, you get either a bag of stickers or a pin, and the pin can be AP. And I'm going to go AP crazy out there, bros. So go and buy yourself a Mischief Toys figure. There's Demonstro is on there. There's some Ghastlies on there.
Why are you acting like you actually pack anything?
Go pick it up at mischieftoys.com. Get your stuff, buy your things. We'll pack it up. We'll get it out of you. And then later this week, we're going to have these brand new, lovely tumblers available for you. Limited to 23, I think. I think there's only going to be 23
Well,
of each.
technically there will be 24, but there's definitely only going to be 23 of this one.
This is mine right here, baby.
That's Chris's.
You want me to show you how it's mine, Heather? Check this
And
out.
mine.
Check this out. This is how I'm proving it's mine. Nobody's going to want it now. Don't. Oh, ew. Look.
Ew, you're disgusting.
That's
I can't
mine.
believe you would do
It's
that.
not going anywhere. Yeah, so what else, Heather? What else? Shit. There's that. I feel like I'm missing something, Heather. Come on, talk to me. Oh, tomorrow, Mischief Mondays. It's bathroom.
That's disgusting.
That's the hashtag bathroom. So make sure you check it out.
Oh,
it's
look.
amazing.
So I was looking because I could have sworn I posted a picture of Il Nino performing on my Instagram when we saw
Sure.
them, but I didn't. I did post a picture of when Devil Driver came on, but
Okay.
shortly before that was when we met Danny Trejo. And here is my signed Tortuga U2s. It's right on his face. You see it? Danny signed right on the side of his face. It's
$50
amazing.
for my Tumbler straw, Bobby. Get in my DMs. I'll hook you up. I'll do things to that straw like you never heard about before. I'm gonna do things with that straw. It's gonna get wild. It's gonna get so wild. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for the support, both with Gastlecast and Mischief Toys. It means the absolute world to us.
Thank you.
Make sure you go to mischieftoys.com, sign up for a newsletter, and follow us at Mischief Toys on Instagram. Join our groups. We have 2 of them. One is Gastlecast We Hunt Together on Facebook, and the other is Mischief Toys on Facebook. Go and join both of the groups. Be a part of the fun. We appreciate you. Hey, this week, be good to each other and continue to make mischief. We'll see you very soon. We love you.
Bye.